Good to see you. Welcome back.
Thank you.
This is episode, I don't even know, but we're at 20 something, but we're we're on we're on stories and solutions. The YouTube version, I guess this time. I don't really do visuals, but as you know, you're the visual guy. So
On
we
the
got
vision.
we got Dario from North Carolina,
Yes.
and it's good to see you again. And
Good to see
so
you.
if you can let everybody know about your play and what you're doing.
Well, first of all, let's start. I've been here. I've been in North Carolina for a year. In
Happy
May.
anniversary.
Thank you. It's been. Yeah. It's not Hollywood. It's more like Mayberry.
Yeah.
Um, and but it's nice. I'm actually living Southern hospitality. Knowing what it really means.
Yeah.
And when people say to you, "How are you?" they really mean, "How are you?"
How are you? Yeah. It's not like
You
a
know,
just a like how are you? And then you're not don't even hear the well,
it's
I almost died yesterday, but.
it's not a California.
Yeah.
How are it's a genuine "How are you?" Um, so that's been nice, and don't really like the food, very much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
What is it because it's greasy?
well, I don't eat meat, so
Oh,
my choices are very limited. But out here, it's everything is supersized.
yeah, you
You
said
know,
that the last time we talked. You said that you see why there's obesity.
there and yeah, supersized. Um, what do you mean? You don't want an extra condiment?
Yeah, and so I can give you seven.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me give you eight. So it's that. But for the most part, what I do like about it, I'll make it real fast. I like the fact that they call it the Bible Belt,
Okay.
and I
Well,
never
yeah,
knew.
because you're a man of God.
Yeah, I never knew what that Bible Belt meant. Yeah, until I lived here, and so and that's I like that. I like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
So,
so
like, does that trade in the fact from I don't have Hollywood, but I have?
well, you know what? I have Hollywood inside me, but it's not as showy here. If I were back there in Hollywood, you know, it's more show, plastic. Who you're wearing.
Yeah, not what you are.
Here, you're wearing Walmart. I mean, I'm not wearing Walmart, but
Yeah, I
that's
get
what.
you.
Yeah, and I think all the fluff is not it's not here, and that's a good part for me. Um, but so that's I like that. I like that it's still and it's quiet, and it's calmer than LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you telling me when I saw you, I guess
Mhm.
a year ago when I saw you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were talking about the energy difference. So yeah.
Well, it's so funny because when I first moved here, prior to moving here, um, people were talking about the racism. That's racism, but there's racism everywhere. There's
Of
racism,
course.
yes, in LA. But I have not really ran into it here. You know, now I was somewhere. I was where was I? My wife and I were at a sandwich place, and we walked in, and heads turned as if we
Mm,
were. So
aliens.
yeah, well, yeah, black aliens.
Mm,
So we just walked to the counter, tried to play it off. The lady came from behind the counter with the sandwich in her hand. How can I help you? And we said, "Oh, we are just looking," and we walked out. But you can feel it. You can feel it.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
That when people don't like you.
yeah, yeah. But it's not. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not. For me, not an everyday occurrence. I've had a good time, and I don't go out looking for the negative. I want to concentrate on the positive. And yeah, yeah. Most of my friends. Well, it's so funny. Everyone that I know here are non-black. Not that that makes a difference. Okay, listeners,
Mhm.
it doesn't make a difference. People are people. And really, I really haven't had any issue, with
That's good.
that.
I told you when I moved from New York here. I
Mm.
mean, I was young, but still,
You're still.
but thank you. Um, no, when I got here, honestly I did not know what racism was. I didn't know any of that because I grew up in the Bronx. I grew up all over New York,
uh,
Yonkers, I lived in Yonkers, I lived everywhere.
yeah.
And and there were every kind of person.
Mm.
I like to well, there's two things I wanted to talk about, uh, and not too much, not too long, but more or less like just to kind of give people something to think about
Hmm.
while all this stuff's going on and all this tragedies going on. Because I think it's tragedy um on the news, but that kind of stuff is happening all over the place. It's just not on the news,
It is.
plastered,
Yeah.
So it becomes sadly a propaganda issue.
Mm.
But I wanted to talk about while this is happening,
Mm.
if you can tell me what you're grateful for.
Well, I tell
Or
you,
even
so
inspirations, because that you're doing your plays and stuff. So
yeah,
there's things you need to hone in on to bring forth your talent with the inspiration. So how about that?
I'm really grateful. You hear the old people say, "Oh, I'm grateful just to get up in the morning." And the older I've gotten, I'm grateful for that. Really, getting up in
Mhm.
the morning, waking up in the morning, being able to take care of myself, and not depend on others, our jobs,
Yeah.
others. There are daily needs, and I'm totally grateful for my family and the friends that I have, and my wife, I should say, um, and just being able to live in a place, live in a country that we do have free speech. We're not. Uh,
Mm.
well, that yeah, no, that's another question part too. But and that's slowly leaving. But in the
I
meantime,
say quickly, but okay.
okay,
You're entitled to your view.
it's right now we have free speech, but um,
So they make you think.
yeah,
Because if you said something wrong, even on this thing, man, the YouTube will pull it if
well, you
I
can't.
say certain
Yes,
words, right? Because there's certain words you can't even say anymore, or they pull it. So that's not free speech.
area's fire. There's certain things you can't yell, and so mm, okay. I'm grateful. I'm also grateful for this. I'm also grateful for on a serious note, I'm grateful that for the people that I help. I speak into their lives, um, and letting them know that there's someone that they're not alone,
Mhm.
and you're not the only person dealing with what you're dealing with. And I I'm grateful that God has used me to speak into people's lives, and to really care what goes on in their lives. And yeah, and I'm also grateful. This is like Thanksgiving here. Thanksgiving in in
In May,
May. Yeah,
one
May.
more day. Actually, tomorrow is June, right?
It's June where I am. I'm like 3 hours ahead of you, so it's
Yeah,
June.
that's true.
It's happy June. Um,
That's funny. I'm in May and you're in June,
I'm in June,
and then we're on the same call.
so it's funny, but it's so just being grateful, just really waking up and just for little things. I think you talked about earlier. Um, Being able to stop and smell the roses, like literally stop and smell the roses, opposed to being pushed in a wheelchair to smell the roses. Um, little things I'm grateful for, just everyday provisions, which I'm grateful for. So Yeah.
Okay,
Hmm.
that's nice. Well, in January I had that big like deal thing where actually this might help because on my other YouTube, I did a podcast visual, and for whatever reason my face didn't record, which maybe is a good thing. But
mm.
but
After all that
um
surgery, huh?
yeah, exactly. But but you know how in January I told you I couldn't walk. I
Yeah.
couldn't I couldn't control
Amazing.
my yeah, man, my hands were doing this by themselves. I couldn't
Wow.
control them. I couldn't see. I'll even send you this picture real quick.
Okay.
And
And and so now, I mean, well, that gave you an insight of what of how the kids we used to work with, how they felt.
that and probably worse because the some of the kids we had, I think there's a difference, and it's not a pity thing. I'm just saying in a
Oh,
sense of this. If some of these kids, if you're born a certain way, you don't really know what you're missing. Right?
exactly.
Yeah. So I had to use a walker.
Did you?
Yeah, I had to relearn how to like get my strength. My hands were doing that. I couldn't see it in my left eye.
Wow.
Yeah, man, I went through hell. But
So
I was in ICU for like a week.
wow, what caused that though?
Well, okay, so they said I have myasthenia gravis, which is a autoimmune neurological disorder.
Mm, wow.
Now they're saying it was Guillain-Barré Miller-Fisher, which is two different um autoimmunes, and I got hit with both
Gee
at the
whiz.
same time.
And wow, so but you look wonderful now, man. How
Oh,
long did it
thanks.
you're welcome. How long did it take to get back to
This
the that I'm looking at now?
2 months. They told me it'd be 6 months before I walked, 3 to 6 months. I did that in 4 days. They told
Mm,
me, as far as like I'm still having issues where I have glitches, where like you'll be able to tell, like I'll be talking to you, and then all of a sudden it's like I'm trying to say something. I know what I'm trying to say. It's there, but then they're not connecting, and then I get frustrated. And then I learn to just stay calm, and I kind of look at it like almost if you have a stuttering issue,
all right.
and I just tell myself it'll pass.
But
It's
you're
like a buffering.
I mean, well, fighter slash not a Rocky type of fighter, but you know, but you're not gonna take things lying down. That's the Todd I know. If a person tells you no, well, you're gonna get on the other side of that. You know,
Yeah, yeah, usually.
yeah. And so I admire that. Too bad people can't see that picture. It really, um, that's something to be grateful for. I mean,
Yeah. Mm.
how God has corrected that for you.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm very grateful
Mhm.
for kind of what you said. Like, um, well, I am getting old, but like when it comes to like I can get up
No.
on my own because I couldn't when this happened, January 13th,
Mhm.
January 14th, I could not walk.
Really?
January 13th, I was running.
And you never told me. I mean, you never told me that. Well, I had COVID in December,
Yeah,
and
you got real sick.
dude, in the first part of January, I was kind of getting back to normal. But you never told me that in January.
The what that I was in the hospital?
Yeah, yeah.
No, I thought I talked to you.
I talked to you, but after the fact,
Yeah,
after the
because
fact.
I was in the hospital
Okay.
for yeah, and then when I got out, I was taking it took me a while. Like once
Mm,
I got home, I
yeah.
wasn't cleared to go to work for a couple months.
Mm,
And even then, like I couldn't balance. I
mm,
couldn't like say if I walked from my living room to my bathroom. So if I went from one side to the other, I would be exhausted.
yeah.
My body would start this shaking thing. Even now, it's not late here, and you know me, I don't go to sleep till 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm,
Yeah.
but my brain, it goes through these like weird things where it's like it just shuts off, and it's like I don't know why. And they said that's a neurological thing. So I'm grateful when I do have my faculties. I'm grateful, like I said, that I had to relearn how to eat, because this thing, like everything was from here down was numb.
Oh.
So if I was chewing food,
Mm,
they had a nurse sitting right there, and I had
mhm.
to have pretty much liquid stuff because I didn't know if I was swallowing because I couldn't feel anything.
No, it had to be frustrating, huh?
It was scary because I actually thought, and I don't get scared of anything really. It was more like, let's put it this way. I told my wife, if you get remarried to a,
Really?
yeah, I said, to a man, a woman, I don't care. Do not have my kids calling someone else dad. And that was it, because I seriously was feeling like everything was shutting down. And
Wow.
I kept thinking, holy shit, like, is this what it's like to die? Like, like to like slowly,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? And they were like, oh, it's an aneurysm, into this, and and here I am. So
Yeah.
I'm extremely grateful for people's prayers, because I believe in that. I believe when people send you energy, um, if you're receptive, it's there. I
Mhm.
think I think when, if you believe, and then when someone's believing in you,
Yeah.
that energy comes. And it in a way, like, it's uh, another thing you've known about me forever, is I don't quite see why people see me as the inspiration, versus I look at the kids, for example, that we worked with special needs, and I
Yeah.
always saw them as the inspiration, because, like you said, like, they didn't weren't given the choice. They got up and were born, or something happened, and then they became disabled. And be honest, like, we had some pretty bad off kids, and
But
they
they were, but
still wanted love.
yeah, and they were happy in the circumstances.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they still were trying to give us love,
Yeah.
and they wanted love. They weren't
Mm,
thinking, hey, Mr. Todd, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, I can't, my body, like, one leg shorter than the other, or hey, Mr. Todd, I can't really talk very well, or you know what I mean? Like, I can't see, or I can't hear, or I have a colostomy bag, or you know what I'm saying? They still were trying to enjoy what they had. And
right.
I think um one of my poems, I said this last time, I never put it out, but I should, was about it's called One Wish. And it's more like, um I wish, like, the world became colorblind, or just blind for a little
Mm,
bit, or I wish people would understand, because these people, I feel, have the right, not saying that others don't, but when you're born with special needs, and um you weren't given that choice,
mhm,
versus you use drugs and you mess up something in your body.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, one has a choice. So I think that I'm extremely grateful that I'm not that way. That I was able to return to more or less what I was. I'm not even close to, like, I'm probably about 85%. I mean, I still have my moments where, although I will say, the victory, I'm off all the meds.
Right
I just,
on.
yeah, I just stopped taking them. I was like, let me see what happens.
Yeah, I don't think medication was your thing in the first place, man.
Nah, nah.
You know, it was, yeah. What
Natural medication maybe, but
well, yeah, yeah, well, which I tell you, I gotta tell you, that works.
yeah,
I
dude, compared to like chemicals.
I tell you, I was so I had a prejudice about that. And a
When I
buddy of
met
mine,
when I met you, or I
oh
shouldn't
yeah,
say when I met you, but when we were friends, you were
was no,
like,
no, we're still friends.
well, you know what I mean, like when we were like, okay, when we lived in the same state and we would
Yeah,
see each other more often. I remember you were kind of on the opposite end of that, where it made me not do anything around you.
well, I'm sorry.
Out of respect. No, it's just out of respect.
Funny. I respect that. I respect that you respected me not to do that. A buddy of mine told me, because I had a really everyone has prejudices about food, about whatever it is, whatever it is. And he said, I do this to control myself. I need to do this because if I didn't do this, I'll be all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Once I had a gummy. And I was like, oh, okay. That was pretty good. And my mother said, works. Because I was like, no, I don't want to do it. Because I felt that I would be a bad person.
Nah.
I'm an
It
inspiration.
came from God, man. Like, how is that bad as you know?
People say, oh, it comes from the earth.
It does.
It does.
Think about it like this. People will say, I gotta take my blood pressure medicine. I
Hmm.
haven't taken that's another one I stopped taking. Just it's been 3 days now. But it like people go by, okay, I won't say anybody's names, but I have friends, right, who
Remain nameless.
yeah, but they and these are people I've known forever. It's they don't judge. Well, I don't know, I don't know if they judge me. I don't really care, but they view me as, oh, you do this,
Yes.
right?
It's the label again, man. He talks about.
Exactly. But you know what the funny thing is? They pop pills. So I would stand that up in anybody against anyone, even in a court of law. If you stood there, the law of not our judicial, I'm saying law of how you said people judge you. Even if you took that and said, you know what, take 2 people from each age group spanning 20 years and ask, if I use these pills versus if I use this, what would which would you prefer? I'm gonna win.
Well, yeah, he probably will.
Because people are not gonna look at an addict
Well, I don't think
the same.
I don't. Yeah, I don't see when we talk about that. I mean, you. I don't know if you can say this online on this platform,
See,
but
and there's that free speech we don't have.
well, I yell fire. But, but dude, I think it's cool. It's like, yeah, where's it been all my life? I did a play. I was in a play in March. I did Titanic, and dude, it was I was so relaxed on stage. I'm like, yeah, what's my next line? But I really have a new respect for it, being that it's used in moderation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't have to be like, that's why I said addict, because the average Joe that takes a pill is masking something, right? The pill is temporary, the other stuff is temporary, but one is chemical. So it's going to make you want more. The other, you don't tend to make you want more.
It just I had the one without without
the psychoactive, you had the CBD.
Yeah, and so that was all right. It worked out. And then I had the one, the big boy one. I'm like, this is really cool, because I could feel it relaxing me, and because sometimes I'm so tight and so tense. This really just mellowed me out.
Yeah.
And I like that. I mean, and that's what it is about prejudice, about being prejudiced, about the speaking about things you have no idea, you have not even experienced, but you don't like it.
That's right. Like
I
people.
yeah.
Or food. Yeah.
It smells like fish. And like people, that's another thing. I mean, get a chance to know the thing or the person.
Exactly. Yeah.
Before you formulate an opinion about that person or place, because I think that's ignorance. It's ignorance.
Well, it's ignorance until you know that you've seen an example of, and I'll say it like this: say you don't like a certain person
Right.
because legitimately something happened. Like okay, the other day I was driving home, and I actually spoke about this on my last podcast, but some guy cut me off, and I almost hit him, and it was just this big thing. And I mean, it went far left. It should not have gotten that bad, but
With
I
your
could,
truck.
you know what I mean? Like, oh, believe me, dude, I was ready to
Uh,
just get rid of somebody. And I'm not like that. But if you push me, stuff happens. But
well,
the
that's
thing
that.
is, hmm?
Bert. That's how this is. That's how it is out here. Everyone packs guns here. It's and I'm afraid to do my LA episode because I don't want to end up on a sidewalk.
Right? So that's my point. So like
Mm.
the person that came at me, he got out of the car. He was like 6'6", huge guy. I think in his psyche, he's
Mm.
probably used to intimidating people.
Because of the size.
Yeah. And then when he saw me, and I wasn't that much smaller, I mean, I'm a lot thinner, but I wasn't height wise, it wasn't maybe 4 inches. But my point was, when somebody's not afraid of you. And
Yes.
when he saw what I had, all of a sudden he changed his tune.
You pull it out.
Nope, I just had my hand on him. I just had my hand there.
Mm.
And because he was within at least 5 feet of me.
Yeah.
And for me, that's too close. Um, so the long and short of that, what I'm saying, as far as prejudice goes, I could have easily been like, oh, this Asian guy, right? But here's my point. When I know that people judge me first by my look, I'm
Yeah.
always the guy that goes, I had a victory today because somebody was crossing the street, whereas other people didn't wait for him. I did.
Right. Right. Right.
If they see me, they may have had a bad experience with someone that looks like me or our race or whatever, right? But
Yes.
if I do something good,
Mm.
I just might open your eyes. To
Well,
me, that's the ignorance
it's the
versus stupidity.
yeah. Here's one of my all-time favorites of all time. Um, you're not like the others.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
You don't act like them. Who's them?
and I have to pick your brain because what others are you speaking of?
Mm-hmm.
Because that tells me right there where you are.
Oh,
Yeah,
of course, of course.
and the others, the others.
The inspiration, yeah. Tell me, what inspires you, especially like what inspires you for, um, because I admire the fact that you. It was one thing when you were here because you're in the Hollywood thing.
The,
Yeah, like I represent Bronx till the day I die, even though I live in California,
Mhm.
because my soul was there. The thing that made me who I am, I think, it was from all that happened there. And I'm not saying I had some great life. I'm saying being here was like how you say, like you're transplanted, but your roots are still where
No,
you
no,
came from, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. Your roots will always be in the place where your growth began. You
Yeah,
know, and
yeah,
so where you live, where you move, where you really stay the night.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And like you were out here, so
Mm.
you were able to do that. And then I admire the fact that you changed your complete life because you were out here your whole life. And then you still pursue your dream. Whereas like I was in New York, I barely started understanding music, but when I got here, that was my whole thing. And I don't make hit records or I shouldn't say that. I do make hit records. The difference is they're not out in the public. I always continue to better myself because I love what I do. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And I that's an inspiration. What you do, the reason you're doing it inspired me. I have a friend named Seppi. Seppi's a educator as well, and she's younger significantly, I think, than I am. I think she's like my wife's age, and and um, she just published her book, whereas I wrote 2 books. I never published them. They're waiting for that. And she made me realize you're not going to get the name. Like, I'm not doing it to get the name on the bestseller list.
No.
Well, I mean, it'd be great, but that's not my goal. My goal is to educate, or to actually relax people,
Right.
you know. So you're like you're an inspiration, I guess. That's how I'm trying to say it, you know.
Well, well, thanks, Todd. Well, Mr. Todd.
Nah, you call me Todd Berg, man. That's for life. Connor
Yeah, yeah,
Steen.
yeah, Todd Berg. It was hard to make that move, but I didn't want to be an old man rocking in my chair, smoking my cigar, saying I shoulda, coulda, woulda, you know. And so I told my wife when we did do this, that if it doesn't work, there's 50 other states we can go to.
Or
You know,
48.
I had to correct myself on that. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Thank you. My cross 2 off. You're right about that. Math wasn't my better suit, but yeah, lunch was. But anyway, so yeah, 48 states, and so I didn't want to live in the window of regret. You know, yeah, it was hard because we sold everything. To come here, we just uprooted and left. It
Yeah.
was a very popular move with our friends and family. No, I was crazy. I was going to join a cult. I was going to be hung from a tree, a peach tree, or I don't know,
Yeah.
a tree, I don't know.
Strange fruit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And but see, the bottom line is that this is my life, man, and
Yeah.
I can't live my life the way other people want me to live my life because it satisfies them and don't satisfy me.
Right.
And so yeah, it's so different in the South than it is in Southern California. Totally different. And but I've been blessed by being here. I mean, I have a nice home and a nice. I have some beautiful friends I met, absolutely beautiful friends. Um, it's slower than California, much slower. The only thing that I worry about, not worry, but my only concern, what cologne to spray on. you know, Gucci today or no.
No name brands in the NC.
Like Walmart toilet water.
Yuck.
Uh,
I
but
have a
that
friend that lives there. I told you about it. But
really
what else? Yeah. So now I gotta do my job. So what else inspires you?
okay. What is people?
So
People.
so okay, is it any like how we worked with people, or just people in
Well,
general?
no, I mean that's not
Different.
really. That's different, a different type of thing. But I think. Oh, that's a good question, Todd Berg. I think what inspires me is that we can be an inspiration. That inspires me. No one in particular inspires me. Um, I'm inspired by the word that we can
Oh,
be
that's nice.
that we can be an inspiration to people, and that's what inspires me. There really isn't anyone that I look up to. There's a couple of people that I do admire,
I look up
but
to kids.
the kid, well, that's
Not
it.
just not any like particular kid. Like you know what I learned? I
Mm,
look up to kids for 2 reasons. They're the younger ones, and they always want to smile. They always, I don't care if you think you're the biggest gangster in your little clique, or I'm from this street. Look, even if you're getting wasted with your friends, it's
mm.
so you can smile. They don't want
That's
to be sad.
that's the inspiration, and I really should. This is about inspiring people. So that's inspiration to me. A no brainer that the kids we work with, they inspire me because of they're going through, and they're still happy. And that's very tough. That's a tough question, um, because I don't think I have a very intelligent answer for that.
Well, I mean, I don't think it really. I think it's just whatever you feel. Like you don't have to see. We were talking about the labels. Like I don't think
Mm.
you have to have a. That's what I like about. I don't like doing this the face thing all the time, I don't mind talking, like especially with you, because I'm myself, right? So I don't have to feel like I have to say something a certain way or not say a certain thing, you know. Um, the it doesn't matter. Like you could be a person that okay, a friend of mine, he goes by Flip. Like if he was thinking like you and he says, nothing inspires me,
What is
he owns it. You know, it's like
I
that's
didn't say
great.
I didn't say nothing expired. Expired. I mean, inspirations comes from seeing a person achieving their goal
Hmm.
that you thought you couldn't do, but you see them do it. It's like, yeah, I can do it. Now, I can I tell you,
Yeah.
moving, selling your things, giving up your life that you 50 some years of your life to go to a place where um, it's snow and it's cold and all the stuff, and the food's bad, but the people's nice. Um, that's inspiring that I can actually do that, be able to do that, and to still live and with no regrets. That's an
Yeah,
inspiration. I
I'm
think,
trying to get there.
no, dude. Here's the thing: when you try, don't try, because
Just get there.
trying gets you absolutely nowhere. I'm trying to be, I'm trying to be on a diet, but I'm eating all the sausage.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not that way. I'm talking about I'm where you were. I've I've been going back and forth with this Vegas thing for like 4 years.
Mhm.
And I'm already at the point, the longer I've been here, I'm more like, man, I can do whatever I want, wherever I want. And um I honestly just I'm like I just want to reset because I
Yeah,
think everybody was resetting anyways. So
yeah.
you might as well reset and just start your life again. And if you feel good in a place you want to be and you miss where you were, that's your life. You get to go back there, you
What's
know.
well, what's the worst thing that can happen? That's what I was telling my wife. It's because there's no home in California anymore. The home
Yeah.
is someone else bought it. Um, so we have to pick up. We can't live in yesterday.
Well,
We
yeah,
have
it
to live.
doesn't exist.
Yeah, and so I'm inspired by my wife. My wife, she didn't want to come here. It was like she fought me tooth and nail to come here, and being here, it wasn't her thing, but she's here, and she's bigger than what in her career than she's ever been. So
Wow.
in LA, and that inspires me because she stuck with it. Um, so I guess that's the inspiration to me. See, listeners, I'm inspired by someone.
No, I didn't mean it that way. I meant
No,
like if you weren't, like I didn't want you to feel like you
no,
had to
I
tell
don't want to
me.
sound. I tell you, I mean, can you be inspired by yourself? Can you be inspired?
Yeah, for sure. Because you can look at yourself and say, man, like say you were a baseball player,
Right.
you can say like, dang, I did that, and that's
Mm.
gonna make you say, I'm gonna next time do two of those.
Yeah.
What you just did inspired you to do, or motivated. Maybe that's a
Well,
different, yeah,
well,
different term. Yeah,
I just
that's
I just finished a play. I did Titanic the musical, and I was the captain of the play, of the
of the
story.
boat.
That sink the boat and all the
So they
stuff
had to blame it on a.
on
I'm only
Negro.
kidding. Just kidding.
But the thing so I never thought for years. I've been acting for years, but I always hid behind the co-star or the you know something other than a star, and I never thought I could do it because I was for years I was hiding behind it. So I got this role. I was fine until they said you're the star, and I'm like, oh, I just I nut up. I'm like, oh, and So anyway, I did the role, and I'm like, yeah, man, I can actually do this. For
Yeah,
years, I was hiding behind a shadow, someone's shadow,
which
until
was you.
I blocked myself.
Yeah,
I blocked.
it's you, the
It was
light.
me. Yeah, man. Until I moved to North Carolina, I discovered, yes, I can. Si se puede, if that's what it is. You know, I can do it. I can do it.
What was it? Was it you can do it because you're in a place that you don't know anybody?
Well, I can do it because I gave myself a chance,
Oh, okay.
you know, and I was afraid before, and when I was in LA, to go for something like that because I didn't think I
You
can
didn't
do
think
it.
you can do that.
Oh, dude, I'm like, bring it on now.
That's cool. That's cool. You know how I have like my shirts, right? Or here,
I
look,
want
I'll plug
I
myself there.
I love
But you know, I have my shirts, right? I
man,
have my poetry.
I want a shirt. I'll tell you
Oh
which one I
yeah.
want.
You tell
I,
me
I,
which one you want.
I was shopping already. And can I tell you this? Can I tell you this?
Yes, sir.
You we talked about this before. You wanted something that you can sink your teeth in that belongs to you. And you talked about this way a long time ago, and now you're doing it. That's an inspiration. And look at you now. You're not sitting on one day. You're sitting on today,
Yeah.
and there, that's inspiring to me. You
Thank
know
you.
what you've done. And you're doing it. And I see your advertisements, and I see your shirts. That
Yeah,
I really want.
my wife does the Instagram ones.
Oh, yeah, I love it. I love it, and that's the inspiration because I don't think. Did you think you would ever do something like that?
Yeah, you know it's funny.
Mm.
There's quite a few strange things that happen with you and I.
He
Um
he
yeah,
really.
you know, I guess like we've known each other forever, but it's like um my sister, God rest her soul,
Mm.
she went to the Fashion Institute. I was never a sketch guy because I always knew I couldn't draw, but I was always a visual person. I can see things like if I just close my eyes because I could see it. Well, it's the same as when I'm doing music or whatever it is. So like when I dress, I always get people saying like, "Why do you always match?" And I always thought that was like such a weird question because it was like, well, what am I supposed to do? You know, like, and uh, I won't get too far into why I do it, but my sister being um, the
That
artist of it,
yeah.
right? I don't know if that combined with the fact that like I can see what I want, you know, like
Mm.
I can look at a pair of pants, right? And the first thing I goes, man, I would make those flared out. I would put like, you know, patchwork quilt on this knee right here. What it's just there. Um, so when it came to the shirts, what actually got me going was COVID. Because I
Yeah.
had nothing else I could do.
Mm.
And you know what I mean? Like my life coaching, or you know how I was doing the outside stuff with the special needs, and
Right.
gone, right? You can't see anybody.
Mm.
Music wise, I wasn't really doing anything. I was working on stuff, but
Mm.
it was, again, I visualize it first. Like I have to see the big picture, right?
Yeah. COVID brought a lot of hidden talents out of people. You
Yeah,
know.
or yeah, the ones that they exactly they either suppressed because they're always working, or whatever it was. You went back, like for me, I went back inside myself because it made me. I looked at COVID as this is my time for me and my family, and to make sure I know how I'm going to where I'm going versus,
Mm.
oh, I'm just living every day. Because a lot of people, you say like, oh, just live every day. It's like it's your last. Well, that in a way will
Yes.
keep you from where you're trying to go, because
Right.
you live it like it's your last, but you because you're appreciative of having it, right?
Mm.
But you don't want to go through life where it's like, well, I don't know if I'm gonna be here tomorrow, so I'm not gonna pay that bill. Or I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? Like, who cares what's gonna happen in 20 years? I was that guy, but I was always, I'm telling you, man, always like sketching stuff. But again, I didn't know how to draw. So
Mm.
if I was able to see it with computers, I was able to draw it once I could see it, almost like I'm copying my own vision, and then I
Mhm.
could see it. So that's how I started doing the shirts. And I kept thinking, like, my music is really, I won't say antiquated, but it makes me feel um like who cares? Like nobody really cares what I have to say because again, I
I
speak
think,
knowledge.
well, I think I would say, um, the person I know and I'm speaking to, people actually respect you enough to care what you say, you know.
Wow.
Um, so I would erase that from your memory bank. That people actually, you know, people dig Todd Berg. They care. They really, really. And it's like you're like an instant holiday. You
Oh
know,
man.
I'm telling you, you walk in the classroom and it's like, yeah, you know, Santa's here. You know, Mr. Todd's here. I I can
So weird.
you know, hair down. I can take my sweater off. Not clothes, a sweater.
Yeah. I get you.
Right. You know what I mean? I can just be myself and still be respected and valued. And so, make a long story short, I think what I've seen, people do care what you say because they like you.
Oh, thank you.
It's,
See, I didn't see it that way.
I always say that. I don't see that. I don't see that with myself. I have a tendency of not see, feeling I'm not good enough and all the other jazz. But um,
Yeah, that's what you just said about the Hollywood versus North Carolina, and you went for it,
well,
you know, you didn't
went,
believe it.
I went forward, and you, you- here's something. I guess here's something about being a man. You make a any decision you make, you have to make it work, even if it's the wrong decision.
Yeah,
You
true.
can't, and you can't say, oh, honey, I made it. You got to make it work, and then
Yeah,
it takes.
we're judged harsher.
Yes, you got to make that bad turn work, man. But I think people respect you. I don't think I've seen them. Yeah, you're like a holiday, like, you know, a Jolly Rancher,
You know, I tell you the truth.
What?
I've always, and you know this too. I've always said like I don't get it, but the thing
You
is,
know?
even today, I had a guy. I met him maybe 3 times now. He said, I was at this place at this school today for like maybe 2 3 hours, and then I had to go to another one, and it was like this guy tells me, uh, I hope they utilize you to the benefit of these kids because he goes and audience wise, if anybody's watching, I am not tooting a horn. I'm just kind of telling you verbatim what this guy said. And he was like, they don't utilize you. They should, because I'm able to see firsthand the effect you have on these kids, just your
Yeah,
presence. And
yeah,
he's like, that's a gift. And
yeah.
again, like your Hollywood to North Carolina acting belief levels, it's the same thing. I didn't get it because I was like, what do you mean gift? Like I'm just a human being. And I think that's when it hit me. I was like, wait a minute. My beef with the world is that I'm strange because I'm acting human when it's in the reverse.
Anyone that's, uh, you know, I don't think it's strange. It's just that you're you, and you're acting like the person that you are. You know,
Okay.
um, no frills. It's just, add water and stir. Here I am. Boom. Here we are. Almost.
Cream of rice.
Oh yeah, cream of wheat, brother.
No, I can't eat wheat, so that's why I say cream of rice.
But you know. So yeah, and so you have that.
I
I
appreciate that.
do, but people are telling me, these guys I'm talking to, in my theater group, that I'm glad you're here, and I gotta say to myself, like you're saying, you are. It's fresh word in a new town. People want what you have. They've been asking and waiting for something to come to town, whether it's classroom or um, whatever it is, or an actual town. People waiting for that to say, "Oh my God, where have you been? This is what I need. I I need this. I need this refresher that came through you." You know what I mean?
I got
And
you.
yeah, so it's that's inspiring. Yeah, the rabbit. That's inspiring when you can inspire people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
See?
yeah. It's coming to me now. When
Yeah,
you can,
that's how I feel. You can like I guess it's like this. I can sit there and say, okay, my childhood, I felt let down, right? Because I see others with other things. But
yeah,
at the same time, I feel like this. If I watch somebody's rags to riches story and it's about how they had to come from nothing to something, that inspires me, right? Or others. If it's not me, it's by like a basketball player or something. That's what usually what they use. Oh, this kid came from nothing. He played basketball, blah, blah, blah. But when you look at life as, okay, I may not have a bunch of money, but I have a heart and I
mm,
listen, you know what I mean? And I listen to people and I empathize with you and I try to make you understand, like sometimes do stories of my own that are like, well, here's what I went through, not to lessen what you went through, but so that you don't feel alone.
well, you
Because
stories. You have your stories. Every chair, you know. Yeah, interesting.
yeah, dude, see, that's the thing. Like that's what I meant by the book. Because people, I feel like nobody's gonna believe me. You know what I mean? If you only knew, like nobody would believe where I come from and
I, I,
what things I went through, or
well,
they're
I
gonna
think
go,
because of your intelligence, people don't think that you came from um, the place in which you came. You know, um, and that's judging too. It goes back. It's judging, putting a label on the people. Um, yeah,
you know,
even
it's
even.
funny.
Hmm.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was saying, even with this podcast, I mean, you're not the person that I like to chat, especially to strangers. This is like um, something to be proud of. That that you have overcome that that little shy person has a podcast.
Yeah, but I have a podcast because you can't see me. Although this is now two that
Yeah,
you can see
you,
me. So I'm getting there, you
yeah.
know?
No, no, that's the thing. It's the getting there, but getting there, saying that you're there, opposed to not even getting
Like
there.
to try, yeah, to get
That's
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's wonderful that and I'm inspired by your podcast. I heard one, well, the one the other day, and I'm just inspired that you are putting your yourself out there to be heard. You know?
Wow. You're the second person that said that to me because they know
Okay.
how shy I am. And I think people don't really understand because I can't listen to myself. Well, this I can see, this I can watch because I'm seeing it. But when
Yeah.
I'm listening to my normal weekly, well, the people are still going to hear this. so it's going to be cut up, right? But not much. And I also reference it to music, because when I'm recording, like which I'm doing right after this, is where where am I trying to be so I can get there, and visually. And that's the same thing with my shirts. It's like, what am I trying to do? And I want stuff where,
Well, don't say try. I think we should take try out
yeah, I
the
agree
equation.
with you. I agree with you. What am I
What
going to do?
and
What am
that's
I
fine.
doing? What am I
Yeah,
doing? Because I'm already doing it.
yeah. So I tell
Yeah.
my friend, let's take try and going to and what if out of
What? Yeah. What if? What? How about? What's the end result?
endless. It's
Okay.
endless.
I
It's
met
endless.
this guy.
Okay.
It was another one of those strange things.
Mm,
I was at the beach, normally where we go, but I was at the beach with the kids. They're riding their bikes, and I'm running around, or walking around, I should say. And this guy was just standing there looking at me. And again, I'm paranoid, so I'm like, "What is?" You know what I mean? Like, why are you looking at me? That kind of thing. And he ends up talking to me. Let's see, Rawsome Meals. His name is F. Andre Fortune. So
he smells like money.
yeah, right. So like the thing is, uh he can't be but so much older than me, even if he's 15 years old or 10 years, I don't know. But the point is this guy starts talking to me, and he tells me kind of what you just said. And he was like, it's your language. He's like, don't say if, or don't say this. And he's like, I don't know you. And all I see in the package is you got it all. He said, when I started talking to you, I could hear you didn't believe that.
Mm-hmm.
And that made me say, damn, I'm like blocking my own blessings because of what you said earlier. Like, you didn't believe. I believe. I'm not like a opportunist type of guy. I'm more
Yeah,
like, let the elements come to you so it
yeah,
stays.
and yeah, yeah. And so I mean, you're an inspiration. I told you that before. Um, and a good friend.
Oh, thank you.
I
I
really, I
feel
really.
I feel I feel the same way.
I mean, just I mean, I appreciate um the times we worked, working together. Um, it was that was inspiring to me because it's like, yeah, I can come to work and I have a person because you weren't there every day,
No.
but it was like, yeah, when you're there, it's like, okay, man, Santa's in town, and I can just, I can just, it, I can get the gift of friendship and talk and not to be judged, and it's just really beautiful, and so that was good. That was good.
Yeah, thank you.
I think Santa came to town 3 days a week, right?
Yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. And
Uh-huh.
and then I forgot what the other place I was at, but I was
Yeah,
all over the place. Yeah.
yeah. And so I think we should. It's okay to blow your own horn. I think so,
I guess. I mean, I just don't do it.
within reason. Not to be arrogant, to be, and I think it's okay at times not to be braggadocious. Okay, I am the, whatever I do. I mean,
Yeah,
and leave it.
confidence, just not cocky,
Yes, 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 yes. And I
right?
learned, but I think you're only cocky to people who have no self-esteem.
Mm, that's interesting.
You know,
That's been my
uh,
new word, because I find things more interesting when I look at other people's perspectives.
yeah. It's like,
No
I mean,
self-esteem.
yeah. If you elaborate on it, it's when a person is being like, all right, all right, all right already. But if they say, yes, I'm the CEO of a company and I make whatever, 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 and leave it at that, I think that's good. Um, that's good. That's confidence. I started off with nothing and look at me now.
Yeah. Versus like, oh, and I have this degree, and I have
Yeah,
this degree, and I do this, and I have this. And then but while you're talking to the person, it's like, but I want to know who you are. I don't really care about the paper, you know.
I had a fortune cookie the other day, and it said, I think it said, education does not represent intelligence. That's what it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. I could
Do you
take that.
get
So
that?
thanks for again for being on Stories and Solutions. I'm Mr. Todd. We got Dario here. Um it is 2 o'clock in the morning over there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and we're in a different month. It's May here and it's June there. But